On September 10th, 2017, Baton Rouge rapper G Money was right at the front of his studio on the 1900 block of Baton Rouge's Dallas Drive at 1:30 a.m. His death came just a couple of days after his beef with NBA YoungBoy began. Rapper NBA YoungBoy and G Money were friends before NBA YoungBoy's come up, but after YoungBoy became famous in 2017, G Money was kicked to the curb. G Money eventually became a rapper and thought it was right to take shots at NBA YoungBoy. At this time, G Money wasn't aware of the crazy and deadly things NBA YoungBoy was capable of doing. G Money went on to diss NBA YoungBoy's sister, with whom he had a relationship. And when NBA YoungBoy got to hear about it, G Money saw the scary side of YoungBoy. NBA YoungBoy started to send out threats to G Money via Instagram. G Money wasn't scared of the threats. He went ahead to do an interview with Say Cheese TV, where he talked more about NBA YoungBoy and how fame had changed YoungBoy.
Not really. He mad about his sister too, though.
About his sister?
Yeah, I had her a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he mad about that. He wasn't really tripping on it back then, though. You know what I'm saying? He be calling me big brother. And, you hear me? I guess he just let that fame shit get to his head. Now he feel like he just.
NBA YoungBoy could no longer deal with the disrespect that G Money brought to his name, so he took actions to shut him up for good. A couple of days after G Money's interview and their threats on social media, G Money was found dead. The headlines about his death all carried NBA YoungBoy's name in them, and they weren't far from the truth. NBA YoungBoy and his Never Broke Again group were the prime suspects in G Money's fatal shooting. The police were on their tails, and 3 days later, on September 13th, 2017, a member of NBA YoungBoy's group was arrested and charged with the of G Money. The streets and everyone in the rap industry began to see NBA YoungBoy in a scary light, and this earned him some respect and fear among rappers. The next time NBA YoungBoy was involved in a similar incident was in 2020 when Chicago rapper King Von was shot and after talking about NBA YoungBoy in an interview with DJ Academics. King Von shooting. On November 6, 2020, Chicago rapper and infamous gangster King Von was shot and right outside on the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. On the night of his death, King Von was involved in a fight with a member of NBA YoungBoy's 4K Trey and Never Broke Again gang. Quando Rondo and Lil Tim, along with their crew, are associates of NBA YoungBoy who got in a fight with King Von and his crew outside the club. According to Quando Rondo, he was taking a nap in the car when King Von hit him and some members of his crew. While the brawl was going on, shots were fired, and unfortunately, King Von was hit. King Von died from his gunshot wounds. After his death, reports claim that King Von and his crew made the first move at Quando Rondo and his guy. King Von attacked Quando Rondo because he was an associate with NBA YoungBoy, and YoungBoy and Von weren't exactly the best of friends. You see, the situation was quite tricky because just the day before his death, King Von had an interview with DJ Academics where he revealed that he had no beef with NBA YoungBoy. King Von's reason for picking up a fight with NBA YoungBoy's associate right after saying they were cool is still a mystery. Lil Tim, who was also associated with NBA YoungBoy, was, however, charged with the of King Von. When rappers found out that NBA YoungBoy's name was associated with the death of King Von, many rappers began to keep off from him. Most rappers stayed away because of their fear for his anger and aggressiveness, while others stayed away due to their loyalty to Lil Durk, King Von's associate.
Got him and Quando, and a lot of fuck with Durk, so a lot of ain't gonna fuck with YoungBoy because they fuck with Durk.
But does it gotta be like it's not gangster like that. It's a music business, like, you know what I mean? You might fuck with both of them, but you might want to have a song with both of them at one point.
I feel like you
gotta pick sides.
Having 2 deaths in the industry was crazy enough to keep rappers scared of NBA YoungBoy. But those are not the only crazy and scary things that NBA YoungBoy has been involved in. He has also been involved in multiple and gang retaliation that left several people dead. Rappers learned to stay away from trouble with NBA YoungBoy because people ended up dead whenever there was an issue with them. The 2019 Mother's Day tragedy. On May 13th, 2019, tragedy struck in Miami, Florida, and NBA YoungBoy's name was the center of this tragedy. On this day, NBA YoungBoy was the target of a shootout that happened right outside the Trump International Beach Resort. YoungBoy had been in a heated beef with T Grizzly at the time, and he made the mistake of posting his location on that fateful day. A couple of hours later, shooters showed up and began shooting at NBA YoungBoy. The crossfire between NBA YoungBoy and his assassins happened at midday. Although YoungBoy wasn't hurt, there were several casualties. His girlfriend at the time, Kaylin Marie Long, with a 5-year-old boy, was also. Thankfully, they both survived. Sadly, Mohammed Tradi, who worked in a store across the street from the hotel, was shot during the shooting. NBA YoungBoy wasn't charged for the death of Mohammed Tradi, as he was the target of the shooting, but he was arrested for violating his probation. This incident fetched him 3 months behind bars. The judge pardoned him after his time behind bars and ended his probation over the attempted charges. May 13th, 2019 will always be remembered as a dark Mother's Day in Miami, Florida. The fear rappers have for NBA YoungBoy was enough to keep them from having issues with him. But sometimes, NBA YoungBoy picks the fight with these rappers by dissing them on his songs. Rapper NLE Choppa, who was once NBA YoungBoy's biggest fan, has been a victim of NBA YoungBoy's death threats and diss tracks. 2022. Death threats. On January 14th, 2022, NBA YoungBoy released his song Bring the Hook, where he dissed the late rapper King Von and his O-Block gang. Several rappers aired their displeasure with the fact that NBA YoungBoy dissed the dead man, and NLE Choppa was among these rappers. Due to the personal relationship they both had, NBA YoungBoy dissed him directly in a track he released a couple of days later. In the song Know Like I Know, NBA YoungBoy aimed at NLE Choppa saying, "Hey, I bet your mama be destroyed when we send your stupid to God for making statements, choosing sides about my beef with them little boys. I could say I saw it. You could say I was your favorite. Better stay up in your place, around and get your face split any day." NLE Choppa has never received a death threat from NBA YoungBoy until the song was released. He got the message clearly and decided to keep off from NBA YoungBoy's beef with other rappers. NBA YoungBoy has also had run-ins with several rappers in the industry. He may be young, but he goes after OGs of the rap game when he's on a dissing spree. Many rappers have come to terms with the fact that NBA YoungBoy is a bold rapper who should be feared. This reality hit them when NBA YoungBoy dissed and disrespected OG rappers like Gucci Mane, Jay Prince, Boosie, and many more. Arrest history. NBA YoungBoy has had a pretty long history with the feds, and the crimes he committed were so crazy that many rappers don't want to be the reason that NBA YoungBoy ended up behind bars. You see, NBA YoungBoy was only 15 years old the first time he rode in the back of a cop car with cuffs to his hands. He was arrested after committing a robbery in his hometown of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He was taken to a teen correctional center in Louisiana. It was during his time here that NBA YoungBoy began to explore his talent in songwriting and rapping. NBA YoungBoy put pen to pad and founded a rap career based on his troubled life. During an interview with The Fader, he spoke briefly about his passion for rapping. He said, "I had been rapping, but I used to hide that." He remembers, "I was scared, not for sure about myself, playing with my craft." A criminal court judge ruled in his favor after 6 months of change. After being released from the correctional center, he decided to go back into the studio alongside his half-brother, NBA OG 33. These writings brought about his debut mixtape, Life Before Fame, 2016. On November 28, 2016, the NBA YoungBoy was arrested again at a concert where he was set to perform in Austin, Texas. The arrest, which the U.S. Marshals carried out, was based on the law enforcement belief that NBA YoungBoy wildly fired guns into a crowd during a drive-by shooting just weeks prior in Baton Rouge. The arrest occurred at an exceptionally unfortunate time for YoungBoy, who had just turned 17 and was thus eligible to be tried as an adult. NBA YoungBoy was made aware of the gravity of the situation he found himself in at the time, so he had no option but to accept a plea deal with a lesser sentence and pay $50,000 as a post-conviction bail. He was ultimately charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and served time behind bars from December 2016 to August 2017 for first-degree murder. He later pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of aggravated assault with a firearm and was sentenced to a suspended 10-year prison term and 3 years probation. This was a lesser sentence compared to the maximum of 40 years imprisonment he could have received under Texas state law. 2018. NBA YoungBoy stayed out of legal drama for the couple of years that followed after his 2016 arrest. However, by 2018, he had another issue with the law. He was arrested on a fugitive warrant for having sought to evade arrest on charges of weapons possession, kidnapping, and assault. The charges of kidnapping and assault were a result of an incident with his baby mama, Janiyah Jackson. The incident, which was recorded in a hotel hallway, showed NBA YoungBoy physically assaulting Janiyah. 2020. In 2020, NBA YoungBoy was arrested alongside 16 individuals in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. According to police records, the incident occurred at an abandoned property on Chippewa Street in Baton Rouge, where the rapper was shooting a music video. A report was made to the police that individuals were flaunting firearms. On arriving at the location, the Baton Rouge police officers searched the area as well as their vehicles. There were 7 vehicles at the scene, but the police had warrants to search only 3 of the vehicles, where they discovered 3 grams of and 1 dose of in a clear bag. On obtaining warrants for the other 4 vehicles, they discovered digital scales, several handguns and rifles, including an AK-47. Police reported another 7 firearms were found in the grass nearby, including a stolen gun from Texas. In addition to which police said were packaged for distribution, they found that some of the individuals had large amounts of cash on their persons. The officers reported that NBA YoungBoy was carrying more than $47,000 on him at the time. 16 individuals, including the rapper, were arrested for and gun possession charges. Police also noted that the individuals were believed to be members of 2 street gangs, Never Broke Again and Bottom Boy Gorillas. In a statement shared after his arrest, YoungBoy's representative said, "It is important to remember that when someone is arrested for a crime, it does not mean they are guilty of anything. Kentrell Gaulden is innocent of the crimes he was arrested for yesterday evening. He did not possess any firearms, nor did he possess any controlled dangerous substances." While this case was underway, it was reported in October 2020 that YoungBoy was being investigated for beating a man in the garage of a Texas studio. It is unclear whether this case is still open or has been resolved. Not many details were released on the case, but it goes to show how aggressive NBA YoungBoy could get. 2021. On Monday, March 22nd, 2021, YoungBoy, Never Broke Again, was involved in a dramatic standoff with the FBI and the LAPD. When law officers spotted YoungBoy's car, they attempted to pull him over due to an outstanding federal warrant. Things escalated quickly when the rapper exited his vehicle and tried to flee the scene on foot. A police perimeter was set up around the scene to prevent YoungBoy from getting far, and a K-9 unit was deployed to find him. The search was successful, and YoungBoy was taken into FBI custody. TMZ reported that cops discovered a firearm in the rapper's vehicle. NBA YoungBoy's arrest records and the reasons for his arrest were enough to keep rappers off from getting into any beef with him.